Welcome to Sport Classics and Formula One action from the 60s, 1969 in fact, and the British Grand Prix from Silverstone. It's round 6 of the F1 season, and Jackie Stewart leads the title race, having won 4 of the first 5 races. The action's well underway, Stewart chasing race leader Jochen Rindt.
We're on the 28th lap now, with Rindt still leading Stewart. Stewart there still pushing. Stewart still worrying Rindt all the way. McLaren third, with Ickx fighting him for it. Piers Courage is now 5th, and Graham Hill is 6th. And Stewart is still less than half a second. They've caught right up now. They're lapping Vic Elford. That's number 19, Vic Elford, in the McLaren, Colin Crabb's McLaren. And that gave Stewart a chance to close up a little bit. It didn't make a lot of difference, but it did help. Still about half a second. Bit less than that. Out of Stowe, Stewart got very close there. And Jackie Ickx has just passed McLaren. Jackie Ickx has just this minute passed McLaren into 3rd place. Just as they came through Woodcote there, at the end of the 28th lap, Jackie Ickx took McLaren. He made up a tremendous lot on that lap. You can see a little white mark on the tyre where he's brushed something. So Ickx is 3rd, McLaren is 4th, and Graham Hill is now up to 5th place. Rindt putting on a tremendous show, not being rattled by the masterful Stewart behind him. Stewart obviously hoping he'll make a mistake, but he hasn't. Looks as though Stewart may have decided to watch him for a bit, as Innes Ireland suggested earlier on might be a good idea. Closes up a little bit into Stowe every time. Stewart having an easier, less dramatic ride than Rindt. But the net result is that they're half a second apart after 33.5 laps of racing. Into Copse, Stewart closing up again. Innes Ireland, this must be a very tricky situation indeed when you're fighting for the lead, when you catch up not just with some back markers to be lapped, but chaps having a fight of their own.
Yes, this is really going to be tricky, because these new aerofoil devices they've got at the back, it's very, very difficult to see through the mirrors, and these 4 fellas having this terrific dice for 5th place, they just won't be able to see that Rindt is coming through.
Well, we hope Rindt gets through. There they are now, and it looks to me as though, oh, Stewart nearly took advantage of the situation then. I thought, in fact, Stewart was going to take advantage of it. Rindt and Stewart both passed Courage, so that's number 1 target. Courage has dropped back a bit out of the 5th place fight. The next target, the next one ahead of him, is Graham Hill, and then Eamon, and then Seifert as they go forwards. And of course the advantage can go to one or the other. It jolly nearly went to Stewart then. Rindt seemed to get held up by Courage for a moment, and I thought it was all going to go Stewart's way. And look at these chaps in front. They're all pulling out and swapping and chopping, and the leaders are with them. And it's everybody and anybody, and goodness me. And it's Seifert, Eamon, Hill, and then Rindt, and then Stewart. And they've all, and then Courage, and they've all lapped the four-wheel drive Matra-Beltoise. Just in the middle of all that, the whole lot of them lapped the 4 laps back four-wheel drive Matra-Beltoise. So that was very dramatic indeed. And the leaders, now there's Rindt, he's got through. That's Rindt, he's got through. They're on the 40th lap now. What a sort out that was. There's Jackie Stewart. That was bad luck there. He was in touch with Rindt completely until he just got the worst of that lapping. And when chaps are engaged in a tremendous fight like that for a place, you can't expect them just to move over and let them by as if they were back markers and also rans. And Stewart got a bit boxed in. But he's going like mad now. Stewart is absolutely piling it on. He's got to catch up and make contact again with Rindt. He doesn't want Rindt to have an easy race, and he doesn't want him to get away. So there's nothing for it but to belt after him just as hard as the Matra will go. And he's broken the lap record. In the course of all this, Jackie Stewart has done 121.8. 121.8. Graham Hill, who's been having a difficult season, he had a brilliant Monaco. He won Monaco for the 5th time. 2nd in South Africa at the beginning of the season. No luck in Spain when he had the dreadful accident, but luckily he wasn't hurt when the aerofoil probably came adrift. No luck in Holland, and he was 6th in France. So Graham Hill has got 16 points in the championship. He's still in the hunt. But Courage is pushing him very hard now. Piers Courage, number 16 in the Frank Williams Brabham, 27-year-old Courage is pushing the 40-year-old world champion Hill very hard indeed for 5th place. And yeah, they're all, somebody's off there, they're all off in the soft of the vegetables, and that was Seifert and Courage, and in the course of all that, I think they swapped round. I think Seifert may have got Courage then. And so Graham Hill in 5th place, and Les Leston is in the pits with the Amon Ferrari.
And the number 1 Ferrari driver, Chris Amon, who's been going so very well this season but never quite making it, and he's never actually won a Grand Prix. Chris Amon is out of the race, it looks like, because he's got gearbox trouble. He came tearing and the mechanics got the lever out of gear. It was stuck in gear, but they got it out of gear, and they're now juggling around with the gear selector, and he's going to lose a lot of valuable time, and I shouldn't think he's going to be able to be considered as a contender any longer. Back to you, Anthony Marsh.
Well, there's the 12 cylinders of the Ferrari engine, and the gearbox is the problem. And we're on the 49th lap with the leaders, and Courage and Seifert, and there's Seifert still trying to take Courage. And they go into Copse, and Seifert's got him. He's got him this time. He really did have him this time. I think he had him before, and then Courage got him back again. So it's all going on. That's number 10, Joe Seifert from Switzerland, who's now in 6th place. Here's Courage, number 16, behind him in 7th place. Just in front of them, the 5th man, Graham Hill. Jochen Rindt, 27 years old, born in Germany but moved to Austria when he was a baby, and he's grown up as an Austrian, married a Swedish girl, Nina Lincoln, whose father used to race, and they've got a 6.5-month-old baby, and they live in Geneva. So the boy, who was born in Germany, brought up in Austria, married a Swedish girl, and they live in Switzerland, and he drives for the British Lotus Ford team. So he's very much an international fellow, is Jochen Rindt. And he's leading this World Championship round, the British round in the World Championship here at Silverstone. by nearly 3 seconds, and there's 30 laps to go. They've done 54 laps, 30 laps to go. So, number 3, Jackie Stewart, having won 4 races out of 5 this year so far, is now 2.5 seconds behind Jochen Rindt, and he's just about to lap the third man. He might do him now. There's another very slow car there in the picture. And he hasn't got him yet. I should think Stewart will lap X before the end of this lap. There he goes. I think he's going to do into the club. There he goes. So Stewart is clear of the third man, but he's 2.5 seconds behind the leader. But I don't think that held him up at all. I wouldn't think that's put a watch on it again at the end, but I wouldn't think that's affected the gap between them. They're just finishing 58 laps. It's down to 2 seconds, in fact. He made up half a second on that lap. He made up half a second on Rindt that lap. And John Miles brings the 4-wheel drive Lotus into the pits, number 9 in the pits. This is really John Miles' first Grand Prix. He did start in the French Grand Prix in this car, but he only managed one very sick lap. So this is his first real go in a Formula 1 Grand Prix, and he's been holding 10th place with this very new and experimental car. And there he is, young John Miles, age 26, from London. And he's gaining all the way round. This has been a tremendous lap for Stewart. I should think this might well be another lap record. It's all going to begin to happen again, I think, for these last 24 laps. Three-quarters of a second. Stewart's got right up in it again. It's all happening all over again. Terrific stuff. This is a great British Grand Prix today. And as Stewart goes off, is not quite enough track, so he uses a bit more. Now the pressure's really on. Can Rindt hold him and win his first Grand Prix, which he dearly wants to do, a very ambitious and hungry young man, Jochen Rindt? Or can Stewart get himself even further ahead in the World Championship by putting another one on? He's right up with him there. He's caught right up with him. He's going to try and take him on the inside. He's got him. He's got him. Stewart's got him. Stewart's back in the lead. On the 62nd lap, Stewart's back in the lead again. Stewart's done the lap record again with 121.3, which is 129.61 miles an hour. 121.3, 129.61 miles an hour. A new lap record. And Stewart now in the lead. And Rindt's coming in the pits. Rindt's in trouble. Jochen Rindt's in trouble, and he's coming in the pits. And Stewart goes rocketing off in the lead, and Jochen Rindt, number 2, comes dashing into the pits. Tremendous drama, this. The third place man, X, has gone by, so he's unlapped himself. And I think the trouble with Jochen Rindt's car was that part of the rear bodywork, or aerofoil, was touching the wheel. They're allowed a limited form of aerofoil now under the new rules, although the original type, the big wide ones up on the back, have been banned, but the limited type of aerofoil they are allowed, firmly fixed and with maximum height and width. This has caused the trouble with Rindt. Jackie Stewart there, passing yet again Miles, number 9 in the four-wheel drive Lotus. Miles is now 6 laps behind Stewart, and Stewart's done 64 laps with Jochen Rindt still in 2nd place, Jackie Ickx 3rd, Bruce McLaren 4th, Graham Hill 5th, Piers Courage 6th, Joe Fleetwood 7th, Vic Elford 8th. And Hill is putting on the pressure again. Hill is having a go at him this time. Through Chapel, Courage made a bit. Graham Hill following him, slipstreaming him, worrying him, and he's going round on the inside. He's got him. This time Graham's done it. Graham Hill goes back into 5th place. Courage 6th, but he hasn't given up. Piers Courage is a long way from giving up. They're on their 69th lap. The leaders are on their 70th. So Jackie Stewart has had a great bonus presented to him when Rindt lost half a minute or so in the pits. Rindt is going tremendously well again, but I think it's unlikely that he can catch him. Jackie Ickx is having a very steady drive now in 3rd place, having sorted McLaren out in his drive up from 10th to 3rd. McLaren is all by himself and settled in 4th place. And Courage is having a tremendous go again at Hill.
You could see as the cars came into Woodcote there that the right, there it is again, you can see the second car here, one of the nose flippers is practically touching the ground. This will make the car quite, look, he's off the road again. There it is, you can see that nose flipper, the white thing at the front is practically touching the ground. He probably did that by running into the back of Graham Hill's car at some stage, but this will make the handling of the car very difficult. These nose ailerons help to push the nose of the car down and give better grip on the track. So obviously that side of the car will not have such a good amount of traction and will make, there it is, very good, very clear.
Jochen Rindt, I think, coming in the pits again. Jochen Rindt, the 2nd man in the pits again. Jochen Rindt over a minute behind the leader now, and he's in the pits again. More trouble. This is a great disappointment once again. Jochen Rindt is robbed of a Grand Prix win. And there he is. Looks to me...
Well, it's rather...
That's fuel they're putting in, running short of fuel. Well, I never did. Jochen Rindt apparently short of fuel. That is a surprise. Jackie Ickx in 2nd place. Jackie Ickx made 2nd place. And Graham Hill coming in the pits. Graham Hill, number 1, coming in the pits. Graham Hill, who was 5th. Courage has gone through into 5th place, and Graham Hill coming in the pits. So Stewart leads, Ickx is 2nd, McLaren is now 3rd, Rindt is 4th, Courage is 5th. Ickx and McLaren got 3rd and 4th places because of Rindt's 2nd pit stop. Courage got 5th place because Hill is in trouble.
Well, we can't quite see Hill's car through that great pack of people, but it looks as if he's probably going to have to take on fuel. I saw somebody with a fuel churn. Yes, there we are. They're putting fuel in. They probably put another 5 gallons of petrol.
So that's the 2 Lotuses, both in for refueling at vital moments. That's a tremendous blow to Lotuses.
And just
with
passing
both
the
Rindt
pits.
and Hill, when they were placed 2nd and 5th, having to stop for fuel. So the leader's on his last lap, Stewart on his last lap, having driven a tremendous race to get his 5th Grand Prix out of 6 this year, with Ickx 2nd, McLaren 3rd, Courage 4th, Hill 5th, Elford 6th, Rindt 5th, Elford 6th, Hill 7th, Seaford 8th, as we go into the last lap. So that's a tremendously dramatic reshuffle of places right at the end due to these Lotus fuel troubles. And the winner is Jackie Stewart, the 2nd Ickx, the 3rd McLaren, 4th Courage, 5th Rindt, 6th Elford. Those are the point scorers. And there's Stewart winning his first British Grand Prix and getting himself a tremendous lead in the championship with only 5 races left to go this year. On his last lap. And here's Stewart winning the Grand Prix. Stewart wins the British Grand Prix for Ken Tyrrell in the Matra. Another win for Jackie Stewart and the Tyrrell team with the French Matra and the British Ford Cosworth engine. And Ickx is coasting in at walking pace. Jackie Ickx is in trouble. Can he make second place? That's Seifert who's a lap behind. That doesn't affect it. Can he make it? It's McLaren's the next up. Ickx is going to make it. He's run out of petrol too, obviously. This has been a very expensive race on fuel. A lot of miscalculations, and Ickx makes second place. And McLaren comes through third. There's Bruce McLaren third. And Graham Hill finishing now. He finishes 7th. And Rindt has got back in front of Courage. A last-minute change again for 4th place with Rindt 4th and Courage 5th. Rindt managed to undo Courage on that very last lap for 4th and 5th places. And Vic Elford 6th, Hill 7th and Seifert 8th. So that's a most dramatic race. Drama from the start with a tremendous fight for the lead between Rindt and Stewart. Drama at the end with Lotus fuel troubles and Ickx also having a running out of fuel right in the last knockings. And there's Stewart acknowledging the cheers of a tremendously enthusiastic crowd. Been an enormous crowd to hear. They're here today. They've enjoyed every minute of it. They've had a tremendous show. One of the best Grand Prix we've seen for a long time. And a worthy winner and a man who's got 45 points in the World Championship. The next man having 17. There's Jackie Stewart coming up to move onto the low loader for the lap of honour, and great honour it is. Driving it up the ramps.
So a 5th win in 6 races for Stewart, who went on to comfortably claim the first of his 3 world titles later in the year. His fantastic career in motorsport earned him a knighthood in 2001. We hope you've enjoyed our dip into the archives. Join us again for more sport classics.